Welcome to Dog Facts and Fun, where every fact hides a story of love. When your dog puts their paw on you, do you actually know what they are asking for? Most people think it's just a sweet, quirky habit. A few assume their dog is just begging for food or attention. But here is the heartbreaking truth that almost no one realizes your dog is saying something incredibly specific in that exact moment. They are attempting the most vulnerable conversation they know how to have. The way you respond, without even realizing it, is either deepening the profound bond between you or quietly teaching your dog to stop trying to speak to you altogether. By the end of this video, you will never look at that paw the same way again. Watch closely because the final point on this list reveals the absolute rarest thing a dog can say to a human, and most owners completely miss it. Let's decode the secret language of the paw. 1. The quietest form of excuse me. Your dog possesses a massive arsenal of tools to get your attention. They can bark loud enough to wake the neighbors. They can loudly whine aggressively, nudge your hand with their wet nose, jump up on your clean clothes, pace frantically back and forth, or simply stare at you from across the room until you feel the heavy pressure of their eyes. When they bypass all of those loud, impossible-to-ignore options and choose to gently place a single paw on your knee, it is absolutely not random. It is not a habit. It is a highly deliberate cognitive choice. Animal behaviorists who study canine communication note that the paw touch is one of the most intentional, respectful signals a dog can offer to a human. It is quiet. It is incredibly controlled. It is a low-pressure request. Dogs who use the paw regularly have made a distinct psychological calculation about the person they are touching. They have decided that you are worth the gentle approach. They have learned that you are someone who actively listens and therefore they do not need to escalate to chaotic behavior just to get through to you. Think about the sheer beauty of that for a second. Out of every tool your dog has, they picked the absolute softest one because they trust you to notice. It is the canine equivalent of a polite tap on the shoulder. But what exactly are they tapping your shoulder for? To find the answer, you have to look exactly where that paw lands. 2. The location is the message. Here is what most dog owners never think to notice. Your dog is not just putting their paw on you randomly. They are placing it somewhere highly specific. And that physical location carries a distinct biological meaning all its own. When the paw lands gently on your arm or your hand, it is usually their most common direct ask. It means they need something right now. They might need to go outside. They might want your attention, or they simply need a signal that you see them. However, when they press their paw heavily against your leg, something completely different is happening. Dogs do this most often during moments of deep uncertainty. A thunderstorm is rolling in outside. A stranger just walked into the house, or there is a tense energy in the room they cannot name but absolutely feel. When they paw your leg, they are not asking for a treat. They are actively trying to steady themselves through you. They are using your physical presence to regulate their own spiking nervous system. The chest is rarer and it means something much deeper. Research on dogs in close human bonds shows that calm physical contact can literally synchronize a dog's heart rate with their owners. When your dog rests their paw squarely on your chest, they are doing something entirely instinctive. They are finding your rhythm. They are using the steadiness of your heartbeat to find their own calm. And finally, the face. If your dog has ever gently placed their paw on your face, that is the most significant placement of all. Your face is where everything lives. Your eyes, your breath, every expression they have ever read. A dog who touches your face has decided there is absolutely no part of you they need to be cautious around. They have let their guard down as far as it can possibly go. The location of the paw tells you what they need today. But the reason they use their paws in the first place dates back to the exact moment they were born. 3. The maternal memory. Why they need you. Here is something that will completely change the way you feel the next time that heavy paw lands on your lap. This gesture did not start with you. It started before your dog could even open their eyes. Newborn puppies are completely helpless. They are born blind and deaf. They navigate their terrifying new world entirely through touch, warmth, and scent. And one of the very first physical actions they ever learn to do is press their tiny paws rhythmically against their mother's stomach while nursing. This pressing, Kneading motion does two things at once. Physically, it stimulates milk flow. But neurologically, it creates a feeling of absolute unconditional safety that gets wired so deeply into the puppy's brain that it never fully leaves. Your dog outgrew the need for their mother's milk a long time ago. But they never ever outgrew the emotional association that came with it. When your adult dog places their paw on you or rhythmically taps you in a quiet moment with no obvious request attached, they are running that exact same ancient biological program. Their nervous system is reaching back to the very first thing it ever learned about comfort. By accepting their paw, you have become what their mother once was, the ultimate signal that says, I am home. I am safe. I can breathe now. They paw you to feel safe, but sometimes they paw you because they know you are the one in danger. For they feel you breaking before you do. Your dog is not always touching you just to ask for something. Sometimes that paw lands on your knee because they are responding to something happening inside of you, something you haven't even consciously processed yet. Here is what the science tells us. Dogs can detect cortisol, the primary stress hormone your body releases through scent alone. A groundbreaking study published in PLOS One confirmed that dogs can reliably identify stress in human breath and sweat samples with astonishing accuracy, even when the human subject showed absolutely no outward signs of distress or panic. Beyond their supernatural scent, dogs are the world's greatest readers of microsignals. They notice the subtle microscopic shift in your weight before you stand up. They hear the slight change in your breathing pattern before you speak. They feel the rigid tension in your jaw before you have even decided that you are angry or overwhelmed. Research consistently shows that dogs read human body language more accurately than any other animal on Earth, including chimpanzees. So, when your dog randomly walks up and puts their paw on you during a quiet evening when nothing seems wrong, consider the very real possibility that something was different about you. Something small, a spike in anxiety, a wave of silent grief. They noticed it. They cannot ask if you are okay, and they have no words to fix it. They have exactly one way to reach across the species gap, and they use it. They are offering you their paw to anchor you back to reality. They offer their paw to heal you. But if you ignore it, you might accidentally force them into a state of panic. 5. Please do not push the frantic paw away. This is the behavior most owners completely misread, and it causes massive damage to the bond between human and dog. Your dog places their paw on you. Gently. You are busy typing on your laptop, watching TV, or distracted by your phone, so you don't respond. The dog tries again, a little more insistently. A second time. A third time, the pawing becomes more persistent, heavy, and almost frantic. They start digging at your dog. Tried the quiet, polite way first. They tried the gentle, low-pressure version of reaching out, and it did not land. So, they tried harder. Not because they are being difficult, but because the message must get through and they haven't given up on you yet. Animal behaviorists note that escalating paw behavior almost always signals one of three critical things: severe physical discomfort or pain. They need you to notice emotional distress or anxiety that is rapidly building, like hearing thunder in the distance. They have sensed a medical anomaly in you, like a dropping blood sugar level, and are trying to alert you. When you angrily push that paw away, your dog registers a devastating message. I tried to tell you something urgent, and you told me you don't care. The dog who paws at you most insistently is not the most demanding dog in the world. They are the most desperate to be understood. You should never ignore a frantic paw. But what if they use their paw to physically stop you from doing something? 6. The intervention paw, stopping. Conflict. Have you ever been in the middle of a heated argument with a spouse? Or perhaps disciplining a child, and your dog suddenly walks over and firmly places their paw on your arm or leg? Many owners find this confusing or assume the dog just wants to be part of the action. In reality, your dog is executing a highly sophisticated canine de-escalation tactic. In a wild pack structure, peace and stability are required for survival. When two members of the pack begin to show signs of aggression or escalating tension, a peacemaker dog will often physically intervene by stepping between them or placing a paw on the aggressor. It is known in behavioral science as a calming signal or an intervention. Your dog doesn't understand the English words you are yelling during your argument, but they absolutely feel the toxic explosive energy in the room. By placing their paw on you, they are physically asking you to lower your energy. They are stepping into the conflict to say, please bring the pack back to a state of calm. It is a beautiful, brave act of diplomacy from an animal that just wants their family to be at peace. They use their paw to stop fights, but they also use it to claim you in a way that goes far beyond simple affection. 7. The possession paw. You are sitting on a park bench or hanging out at a busy dog park. Another dog or a stranger approaches you to say hello. Suddenly, your dog sits directly next to you, lifts one paw, and places it firmly over your foot or on your knee, holding it there while staring at the newcomer. Most people think this is just the dog trying to look cute for the stranger. It isn't. It is a polite, but incredibly firm biological claim of ownership. Dogs have scent glands located between their toes and on the pads of their feet. When they press their paw firmly against you in the presence of an outsider, they are actively depositing their unique pheromones onto your clothing or skin. They are not necessarily being aggressive or resource guarding in a dangerous way. They are simply sending a clear chemical and visual signal to the approaching animal. This human belongs to me. We are a bonded pair. Proceed with respect. It is the canine equivalent of putting your arm around your spouse at a crowded party. They claim you in public, but there is one final way they use their paw in private that is so profoundly beautiful it will bring tears to your eyes. 8. The rarest thing a dog can say. We have arrived at the final, most meaningful gesture. Most of what we have talked about involves your dog using their paw to actively say something, a need, an alert, an intervention, a claim. There is always an intention behind it. But there is one version of the paw touch that is completely different from all the rest. When a dog places their paw on you and holds it there completely still, there is absolutely no tension in their body. No restlessness, no whining. No request being made. It is just a soft, weightless paw resting against your skin with nothing attached to it. That gesture has a meaning that most owners never fully grasp. Here is what makes it so incredibly significant. Dogs are biologically built for readiness. Every instinct in their predatory body is oriented toward being able to move, to react, to run, or to defend themselves at a moment's notice. Having all four paws firmly on the ground means they are prepared for anything. It is a posture of survival and capability. When your dog voluntarily lifts one paw off the ground and rests it on you, they have intentionally reduced their own readiness. They have made themselves slightly off balance, slightly less able to react, and slightly less prepared for whatever might come next. In the wild, this would be a massive, potentially fatal risk. An animal caught off guard with compromised footing is an animal in extreme danger. Every single part of their evolutionary wiring knows this. And your dog set that survival wiring aside. Not because they forgot, not because they got lazy, because in that exact moment, with that paw resting against you, their nervous system made a conscious decision that overrode thousands of years of wild instinct. They decided, I do not need to be ready. Not here. Not with this person. This is the rarest thing a dog can ever say. Not every dog gets to a place with a human where it feels safe enough to happen. That still quiet, weightless paw resting against you with no agenda attached. That is your dog's most honest, vulnerable sentence. It means you are the place where I no longer have to be afraid. I said at the beginning that the way you respond to that paw is either deepening the bond between you or quietly teaching your dog to stop trying to speak. Now you know exactly what they are actually saying. You know the difference between a paw that is asking for help and a paw that is offering to heal you. Welcome to Dog Facts and Fun, between where every fact frantic hides a story of love and a gentle claim of love. Have you ever wondered why your dog licks your hands every single day? Stop whatever you are doing. On your skin. Do not just blindly pat them and go back to your phone. The truth behind this silent ritual might leave you speechless with emotion. Make soft eye contact. If you've been dismissing it as just a habit, then know the message landed emotional telegram because your dog is not just touching you. Today, they are talking to you in the absolute purest language dogs reserve strictly. And the more you listen, for the people they truly worship. I want to hear about the furry communicator in your life. Clears throat. Drop your dog's name in the comments below and tell me, when does your dog transform how they treat their fur babies? Welcome to Dog Facts and Fun. If you believe dogs are more than just pets, hides a story of love. Stay with me. You are sitting on
now
your couch to join our community of guardians who choose to
Maybe
lead
you
with
are
empathy.
scrolling through your phone
Now,
or
let's
staring
step into their world.
at the screen
Starting
of a show
with a moment
you have already
you
seen
experience
twice
every day,
or just doing
but
nothing
likely
at all.
misunderstand.
That rare waitless
Number one,
kind of nothing
the
that only
sacred
happens
return.
when the world
You
finally
turn the
slows
key.
down around you.
You haven't
Your
even
body
dropped
has
your
sunk into the
bags
cushions.
when a whirlwind
Your
of fur
shoulders
and joy
have dropped.
crashes into you.
Your breathing
Your
has
dog
gone
is
slow,
jumping,
and
tail
even without
whipping
you
like a
realizing
helicopter,
it,
let out
the
those
room
tiny
is
high-pitched
quiet.
whines, as
And
if
then
you've just
without a
returned from a
single
decade
sound
at
of
sea.
warning, even
You
if you
feel
only
it.
went to get the mail.
Not a nudge.
We often
not
call
a hesitant
this
paw
excitement,
testing
but in the
edge
wild,
of the cushion.
this is a
Something
survival
much more
pack
deliberate
breeding.
than that.
When a wolf
A
returns to the
solid
den,
warm,
the pack
weight
reaffirms
pressing
their
into
bond
your
through
side,
physical touch,
a chest
and
leaning
vocalization.
against yours with
to your
complete
dog
and total
your return
confidence.
isn't just a happy
head nudging your arm just
it
enough
is the
to
most
let itself
sacred
drop there.
Liturgical
And then the
moment
rest of the
their
body
24-hour
settling
cycle.
in. They aren't
Adjusting,
asking for a walk
finding the
or a
exact
treat
angle
in this
that
moment.
leaves no space
They are
between
performing a
you.
sanity
Their flank
check
pressed
on the pack.
against your leg.
They are saying
their
the center of my
beginning
universe
slowly
has returned
to sync
and
with
now
yours.
I am whole again.
Their muscles
That
releasing one by
overwhelming
one
chaos
until they are
isn't just
completely
energy.
entirely
It's
and
a silent
unapologetically
declaration
at rest
of
on
love.
top of you. Number
You
two,
look down.
the sanctuary
There
of
is your
sleep.
dog pressed into
Once
you
the initial
like your body
celebration
was always
fades
meant
and
to
you
be their
finally
place.
settle on the sofa,
Their tail gives
you feel
one
it a
slow,
warm,
steady
satisfied
weight
whack.
pressing against your
And
leg,
somewhere
or a
in the
sudden,
back of your mind,
sudden burrowing
the same
under.
question forms
Your
that
blanket.
always
Why do they
forms
do
in
this
moment? Even if they
Why
have
now?
a $200
Why this
orthopedic
exact
bed in the
second
corner,
out of
they
every
choose the
other
hard
second
floor
in the
or a
day?
cramped corner
Here
of your
is
chair
what
just
most
to be near
people
you.
assume.
This is
It is
deep
ancestral
affection,
instinct,
a mood, a
in the
random
wild.
impulse.
The
Sleep
dog
is the time
equivalent
of
of a
greatest
hug.
vulnerability.
And while that is not
by
entirely
choosing to
wrong,
sleep against you,
it is also
your
nowhere
dog is
close to
naming
the
you
full
their
truth.
protector in chief.
Because what your dog
but there's a
is actually
biological
doing in
miracle
that
happening here.
moment, too.
The calculation
Science
behind
tells
the
us
decision
that when a dog
the
and their
instinct
human
driving
sleep
the
in
behavior,
close proximity,
the message
both
carried in the
experience
weight
a
of their
massive
body
surge
against
in
yours goes
oxytocin,
far
the
deeper than
cuddle,
anyone expects.
hormone.
And once
Their
you
heart
understand
rate
it,
slows to
you
match
will never
yours.
experience
Their
this moment
breathing
the same way again.
synchronizes with your rhythm.
So stay with me,
If your
because
dog
this is
insists
where
on
it
being
gets
your shadow
interesting.
at night,
Let us
they
go
aren't
back
being clingy.
thousands of years.
They are building a
before
biological
houses,
bridge to your
before
soul,
leashes,
telling you
before
that in your
squeaky
presence,
toys and
they
grain-free
finally
kibble.
feel safe
Dogs
enough
did
to
not
let go of
exist
the
the way
world.
we know them now.
Number three,
Their
the
ancestors
windows
lived
to the
in
soul.
packs. Have
Tightly
you ever caught
bonded
your
social.
dog staring at
Units
you from
where
across
survival
the room?
depended not just on
the I
speed
want
or
to treat
strength,
stare where their
but on
ears
coordination,
but a
on
soft
closeness,
squinty-eyed gaze,
on the kind of trust that
where
could
they
only
seem
be
to be
built through
daydreaming
proximity.
while looking
Distance
at your face.
meant danger.
In the animal kingdom,
in the wild,
direct eye
a dog
contact
resting
is
alone
usually
was
a
a
threat,
vulnerable dog.
a challenge for
A
dominance.
dog sleeping apart
But
from
between
the
a
group
dog
was a
and the
dog
human
that would not hear
they
the
love
approach
the
of a
rules
predator,
of nature
would
are
not
rewritten.
feel the tension ripple
This
through
gentle
the pack,
blinking gaze
would not have
is
the
protection
canine
in numbers
equivalent
when
of a
something
hug.
went wrong.
Research
The animals
using
that
MRI
survived
scans
were
shows
not
that when
the
a dog
ones who
looks at their
valued
owner with those soft
independence.
eyes,
The reward
they were the
centers
ones
of
who
their brain
stayed
light
close,
up exactly
the
like
ones
a
who
human
pressed
in love.
their bodies
They
against
aren't
the bodies
just
of
looking
the
at
animals
you.
they trusted.
They are. This is not
Inhaling
ancient
your
history.
presence through
This
their
is
vision.
still living.
When you see
breathing,
this,
active
don't look
programming
away.
inside your dog.
Smile softly,
Right
whisper
now,
their name,
when
and
your
watch
dog
their
climbs
tail
onto
give
you
one
or presses
slow,
firmly
rhythmic
against your side.
exchange.
They are not
You've just
choosing
had a
furniture.
conversation
They
deeper
are choosing
than any
pack
words
position
could ever convey.
They are placing
Number
themselves
4,
where instinct
the
tells
gift
them
of
they
the grimy
belong.
toy.
Next to the
It's a
individual
quiet
they have
afternoon,
identified
and
as
suddenly
family,
a soggy
as
dirt-covered
anchor,
tennis ball
as
or a raggedy plush
home.
toy is
And
dropped
here's
right
the part
onto your
that
lap.
should make you stop,
or
and
perhaps
think
it's
for
a
a
random
moment.
sock they
Dogs do not
found
express
under the bed
belonging from
before
A.
you scold them
Thanks for
the
watching
messed
and like,
up
subscribe,
thing
and share, please.
About what this represents.